Hey, it's been a while since I posted any sort of video. I wanted to know what was going on. So I think since the last video, the COVID thing has reached Canada, and a lot's been going on in the last month. Um, I've been working through the whole thing, so I'm actually part of a company that isn't going to be closing, and they're currently in under the orders of Ontario that they're not going to close it up because I'm part of a supply chain for contractors and stuff like that. Like, pretty much, right? Like, if you know these guys, we're all over the place. So I've been working a lot, watching people come in, talking to people through the glass, using the new safety precautions. Basically, life is in a fishbowl at work, and work can be either really crazy or really uncrazy. And then by the time I get home, it's there's not much time to do anything except decompress. So again, I do apologize. It's been a while since I put any sort of videos up with tutorial lesson. That's been a problem. The other problem that's been popped up a lot in the last 6 months is that I've uploaded several videos in the last 6 months that I had to take back down again, even when I've credited creators, even using with permission, their music to play to as tutorial. Unfortunately, it keeps getting shunned and keeps getting, keeps having like a copyright claim held up against it. So even with these things, the record companies, who I guess own them, come at you, and it's like, you can either remove the video entirely, you can unmonetize the video, and I don't really have any videos that have got me to a point where I can actually monetize anything. I don't make money off of any videos. And then the last thing being, they're just ruthless. They're absolutely ruthless. The algorithm that searches for them is absolutely ruthless, whether it's a manual copyright claim or it's an algorithm copyright claim. Doesn't matter. So I decided to take a bunch of it down. The next thing is that the damage that I had in my right arm, for the most part, is healed up. So it's taken almost an entire year for the nerve damage to go away. So I'm glad it's more or less finished. For those of you who followed on the new, it was at the International Baron Facebook page, Derek Burpie's page, in which I'm an administrator on there. It was nice to finally eventually get something put up there just to see how my arm was doing, and it was nice to see some people liked it. There is a video in the works. I just need to find time to actually do a decent recording and write up what it is I want to go over. I've done a video a long time ago, which is about how to find particular sounds on the skin using different tippers. I find that that's still a massive issue for a lot of people. And I still find that that's a big issue for people to regularly control stuff. So what's going to be on the new video is how to find these things, but it's going to be a series of exercises to do it with a click track backing it until I figure out how I can get my hands on some music that won't get me in copyright trouble. So that's what I'm hoping for the next little bit. It's going to be more technical playing, focusing, and it's going to be focusing on techniques that are going to be very specific for the tipper that you use. So if you use something like this or a bundle tipper, the techniques are going to be basically situated toward that type of tipper. Or if you use like a mallet end or a dowel tipper, I'm going to try to find ways to use that, because one of the biggest things that differentiates players is the tipper that you use and the sounds that you can get out of it. No two tippers make exactly the same sound, and between a bundle, a mallet, and a dowel, they're all going to make, or a whip tipper, they're all going to make different sounds, more or less. So a video focusing on those sort of things is going to be in the works, coming along. And it's going to be a video for one type, a video for another type, and a video for another type. I hope to make only 3, though, because you as an audience can extrapolate. One type of tipper can basically be extrapolated to find those sounds in the same vein, if you were to use a whole bunch of tippers like that or whatever. Also, I'm just curious if anyone out there has found any has a special tipper or a special stick that they like to use a lot of for particular reasons. I'd love to know why, because I was doing some research at work yesterday, was bored, we were dead for about 2 hours, and sat there and started looking up building methods and click sounds and sticking sounds and seeing what would be useful or the most useful. So, or rather, how the manufacturing is most useful for the sounds that you want to get. So I'm trying to look into that. So generally, if you have any information on stuff, whether it's if you make tippers yourselves or if you have questions about it or whatever, I'd love to answer them, or I'd like to hear about things that you know that I may not know. I'd love to hear more about that. Maybe we can do some research into it. Also, something else I'm working on has been learning about synthetic heads for drums, and specifically applications to Bowron. Right now, this Remo Fiberskin is the big one, the one I keep seeing advertised, and the one that's, I think it's on Hedvig Shack's website and whatnot, and a few other websites that allow for the skin. I think it's the skin tone. The skin tone is really old. I'd have to double check, but I've heard of people using things like practicing stuff with certain other types of, plastics, or things like sailcloth or laminated cloths and things that simulate a skin type. So it'd be nice to know more about it. And if you've heard anything about it, I'm slowly, I'd like to hear from you as well, but I'm slowly taking in some research as I go through my weeks, sort of. Hopefully in a month or two, I'll have something on synthetic heads that's actually useful for consumers. So that's been the update. Arm is better. I hope you're getting outside, even though the quarantine thing's going on, and I hope you're obeying, good, health practices while you're outside. You do need to get outside. You do need to exercise. You need to get some air. Take advantage of that. And if you are someone who isn't working, I hope you can afford not to work right now. If you are working, I hope you're like me and not knocking yourself out too much. So please do take care of yourselves. We're in the long haul for this, so you may as well make the most of it. And I wish very good health on everyone, and thank you for sticking around. Please drop by when you can. Have a good day, guys.